Guys, Mr. Kreider here. I have a video for you, but first I want to make sure that you've read the stuff. So make sure you read the bottom of page 74. Here, put it up here so you can see it. This whole section here. You don't have to read the exercise yet. Go then to how to form comparative and superlative forms of adverbs. And then lastly, read the top of page 76 as well. Do that and then hit pause right now and then come back and let's listen to the video then. All right, well, welcome back. I'm assuming you hit pause. Okay, the positive forms. One thing that we need to write in our notes, so get out your grammar notes, is that adverbs are sometimes easy to identify and other times you can't just look at the form and say, oh, that's obviously. So let's start with 1-2 adjectives. You can write this down in your notes. 1-2 adjectives can become adverbs by dropping us, a, and replacing that with an E, the letter E. Okay? And oftentimes that's a long E. So lentus a means slow. Lente means slowly. And they give you the example here in our book. Strenuous a means, or turns into strenue. Okay? So strenuous a means strong, energetic, tough. And strenue means, strenuously or hard or, tough-like. All right, now that doesn't work for all of them. Like they said here, the irregular verbs, bonus malus they change a little bit. They're not always exactly that way. So because they're irregulars, just remember that. The other one is that if we have is, adverbs, many of them can become if we have adjectives that are is, we can change many of them into adverbs by putting iter at the end. So again, we know celeriter, which means quickly, but the original word was celer, celeris, celera. So when they have those three forms, many times we can drop that ending and then put an iter on it for third declension adjectives, becoming basically adverbs. And with adverbs, we don't categorize them as first declension adjective or adverbs or third declension adverbs. It's just at that point an adverb. Because we also know from way back in chapter, whatever my level ones are in right now, chapter 14, 13, something like that, that, we have words like yam, nunc, ita, etiam, semper, subito, right? We have a lot of other words out there that don't follow either of those two patterns. But those two patterns are pretty common for our positive forms of adverbs. All right, so make sure you have something in your notes about that. By the way, at the end of the year, that's going to be one of your assignments, to have all your notes typed up for the year and submit them to me. So you can start working on that in your spare time, or you can, already have them there and just keep adding to it. All right, the next part we're going to is this part when we look at the comparative and superlative forms. These are pretty easy because it's going to not change very much for our adverbs when they go into the comparative and superlative forms. It does not matter whether it's whether it derives from a 1-2 adjective, a third declension adjective, or if it's just one of those standalone forms of adverbs like deu and semper and the ones I just mentioned. So you can see here in the comparative form, we're just going to add ius for an adverb, and then for the superlative form, okay, we're going to see instead of being isimus we're going to have it be isime. Okay, so similar to if we would have taken colerimus or litissimus drop that us and add that e, just like we did for the positive form a second ago. We're going to do that same thing here for these. And again, look at the bottom of the page for your irregular forms. Those are the ones that'll be like, oh, that's really wonky. And then lastly, and I'm going to wrap up so you don't spend more than 5 minutes watching this video, just be familiar again with the quam and how they do that with adverbs. It's very similar to what we did with adjectives. So a lot of what we're doing in this chapter is repeating what we did in 34, except we're now looking at adverbs and the way that they go through the different degrees, positive, comparative, and superlative, and we're showing you how to do that with adverbs. And then we also add in the quam. Nothing too tricky, hopefully. If you had last chapter down, you're going to have this chapter down. We have a Zoom session coming up. Make sure you check the schedule. Around 11 o'clock in the morning is when I post the invitation on the classroom. Coronavirus delendus est!